Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Positive EV. My name is Fracas the Third, and today with me I have a very special guest, Ducky. Ducky, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I've been chilling. Some people might have seen me about this server. Some other people only have heard through me from rumors.
Yep. I know we've spoken a couple times before. What's made you so famous on this server, or
Uh, what,
infamous?
what, what, I think there's a few things to say about me, right? There's this 300,000 investor tag
Yep.
in my roles. I'm well known for being a proponent of the CS20 capsule, and
Did you see
I love
it?
my
Did you see
yeah.
it
Go on.
spike recently on Buff?
And I'm also I'm known to love some player autographs too. I'm sure some of you can attest to that.
Oh, really? Which player autographs are your personal favorites?
Oh, I've been known to be buying and selling large amounts of depth, DAPPH or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Def. I think it's pronounced. I'm sure our pronunciation will be fixed by someone.
At some point.
Oh, well, so there's so much we can talk about today. Things have happened in the market. There are things just going on with yourself. I kind of want to dive into a little bit of the history of Ducky, uh, Ducky the legend himself.
Right.
So, what got you deciding to start in CS investing, or was it actually a complete fluke?
There's a bit of a huge history behind that, right? So as we're speaking, I'm 24. I'm kind of a zoomer, all things considered. And I got my start really early on. Like when I was a kid, I was obsessed with money.
Yep,
I needed the newest video games, and you can't buy video games if you have no money.
exactly.
So for the most part, in my youth, I was playing free to play games, and I found out that a lot of free to play games had a thing called an economy. So I was in love with RuneScape early on,
Oh
and
man, we're boomers together. I love
I know,
RuneScape.
right? Except I was like 8 or 9 when I played it.
I think I was 10.
And so I logged on RuneScape, and I found out that you can do just about anything in that game. You can chop wood, or you can mine rocks, and all of those things will get you levels, and very importantly, they'll get you money. You can sell those resources you gather to other players.
Yeah.
And so I sat there in Lumbridge, which is the starting town, and I started killing the cows for leather. And I found out that not only can you sell the leather, you can tan the leather into another material which sells for more.
Yep, so you put a
And
bit of work in.
yeah, this is like how I got my start in money making. And I, at some point, not only did I want fake money, I wanted real money. So I did what any plucky kid would have done, and I sold my many millions of RuneScape cash for real cash, which is a little bit tricky because it's against terms of service, but still.
I, it's fine.
Yeah, so I figured out at some point that while it was fine to be gathering cow hides and tan them into leather, that it wasn't gonna make me rich or anything. So I again did a cheeky, and I set up a bot farm of 10 cow killers to turn into leather. And that is how I earned my first $50 in a digital economy.
$50.
First $50.
First $50. Oh my goodness. Oh, is that what you decided to port over to CS? Just that initial $50, or what was your start? What
Uh,
change? What decided you to start on CS after RuneScape?
Right. So there's again a bit of a history behind that. So at some point in RuneScape, there was a huge update which just forbade. Or it's not forbade. They made you unable to trade gold directly to other players unless they also put in something worth equal value. And that entirely killed the real money trading market. So I had to move on to something new. And it was at that time I was like 12 or 13. I had a few bucks in the bank. And through my journey on Google, I found out about a little known thing called Bitcoin.
I can imagine where this is going.
Yeah, I put my few $100 in Bitcoin when it was $10 each. So I had a few Bitcoin in the bank now too.
Oh, $10 each for Bitcoin.
I got in very early.
You did get in very early. You're early adopter in many things, hey?
I know, but I was only like I was barely entering middle school. It's over here. I was 13 or 14, so I was very early, both in terms of being an early adopter as well as starting early. And I wasn't the smartest. I was still a kid.
Yeah.
And the way I managed my Bitcoin also wasn't the smartest, I must say.
I think that goes for most 12, 13-year-olds with any amount of money.
Yeah, well, you see, Bitcoin went up in price. That's no secret. It was, I think, 100 a year later. It went up to 1,000 at some point. I still had those, and that's a lot of money for a kid to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I did what any kid would do, and I gambled it all.
Oh no! Oh no!
I googled Bitcoin roulette. Yeah, I said I spent it all. I spent it all red, and I didn't get it back.
Oh no, Ducky!
What a disaster!
That is. Have you ended up getting your Bitcoin back at all?
No.
That is. Oh my goodness! I'm sorry, man. That is the most negative EV play I think
Yes.
you may have ever done. Surely there isn't many worse.
I lost possible millions. It's sad to say, but you learn, you live, you learn. You go on to the next thing in life.
Yeah, I mean, what's Bitcoin's price today?
40,000, a little bit under 40,000.
Yeah, 46,000. Oh, that's in Australian dollars. Kangaroo bucks. Apparently, it's imaginary money to some people. Whew. Imagine $10 into 40,000.
Yeah, it stings a little.
Oh, well,
Just a little bit.
It's not that you didn't sell it; it's that you gambled it away.
Yeah, if it was sold at like 10,000 total, I'd be happy with it, right?
Yeah.
That's just an investing mistake. This wasn't. I was just being dumb.
Oh goodness! Everyone listening, kids, let that be a lesson to you. Don't gamble.
Let this be a lesson, right?
Look.
Okay. Keep your valuables and don't move them. Don't just look at it, but don't touch it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Jacob, you can at me if you want to ask a question. By the way, just a side note, don't touch your CS20 capsules. That is correct.
Do it. In like 50 years, yeah, they'll be 10,000 each, just like Bitcoin.
Yep. They
Just
totally
keep it
won't still be in
inventory.
the store. So, after losing all of your Bitcoin, what did you do?
Right, I was broke. I needed money again. I can't buy video games with that. So I needed to get back on that money trading train.
Yep.
And found out about TF2. That's where it becomes familiar for a lot of people.
Yep.
In the beginning, TF2 really didn't have an economy. It was just you shot enemy players, enemy shot you. There were no loadouts, no hats. Kind of a sad world, but hey.
That is.
And then it went free to play, and with the free to play update, they introduced a thing called hats, and you can wear them. And it was around this time too that I started becoming involved with the TF2 economy. I want my own hat. I want to look very cool. Needed an unusual with a good effect.
Yep.
And I started trading. So in the beginning, it's very hard to get your footing in the TF2 economy. Hats cost a lot back in the day. And
what was the
you
price
did
of
get free
hats back in the day?
What did you say?
What was the price of hats when they were like first released?
Oh, right. So I don't know the very start, but a year after, I think a hat was the most basic hats were something like 1.43 refined metal. And you could craft refined metal through smelting down weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And you got, I think, up to nine drops a week. So it'd take you, since every refined metal is 18 weapons, if I remember correctly, that means at least 2 or 3 weeks of grinding to get a hat. And that's the cheapest hat.
Oh wow,
So that's not unusual.
Imagine being able to grind just 2-3 weeks for a CS knife.
Oh, I know. Right? Yeah, but it wasn't really a knife. You should think something more along the lines of a $1 trash can, right?
Yeah.
So you get your graffitis, you get your sand dunes, and you sell them all, and you buy your $1 skin.
Yeah,
that's basically the CS:GO equivalent.
We keep our sand dunes around here.
Okay, okay. Sand dunes are your investments. But yeah, I eventually got enough drops to get myself a couple refined metal, and I did a cheeky again. I went up to people who didn't know the price of their hats, and I sold them a weapon for a hat.
Oh no, Ducky! How mean, you shark!
I know. It's an embarrassing past.
Ducky, oh no! Did you redeem yourself?
I hope I redeemed myself. Later, I gave away like 20% of my hats or something to newbies. So I hope that's my redemption, right?
Yeah, there have been other famous people that have that have sharked or done naughty things, but
yeah. So yeah, go on.
Oh no, sorry, I was just reacting to something in chat.
Right.
Yeah, so you've gone along. You basically trade and shark a little bit to increase your profit margin.
Yeah. I kind of felt like I had to,
Bad
even though that's not really true, right? I could have just grinded longer, or put some real money in. There could have been a possibility too, but I wanted to keep myself purely to the digital market. I didn't want to invest real money into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grinded out a couple of weeks. I got myself some refined metal. I bought some hats for very cheap prices through one way or another. I sold those hats for a profit, of course. And at some point, I had enough metal banked up that this wasn't really a viable method of earning money anymore. I had so much metal, and getting hats through this method just takes a lot of time. Like, you have to find the newbies, you have to scam them, you have to talk to them. It takes a lot of time. So at some point, I just set up a business, basically. I would buy up hats that had a paint applied to them, because in those times, you could apply a paint to your hat.
Yeah.
Make it look green if you want, or make it look black if you want. And paints applied to hats have a value. They keep their value, but not everyone knew that. So some people would just quick sell their hats with paints applied to them for the normal price of the hat.
Oh.
And I'd buy those up, and I'd sell those hats with half the price of the paint attached to it.
Yeah.
So, for example, a hat would be 1 metal, and black paint, for example, would be 5 metal. I would buy that hat for 1 metal and resell it for 3 metal.
Okay, and you just managed to snowball.
Yeah, and in the beginning, I only had like a couple hundred items, but I shot up to the backpack maximum in like 2 months.
Wow.
And at that point, I had 2K worth of TF2 items.
How many accounts was that across? Just one, or?
Just one, yeah. TF2 allowed you to increase your backpack size up to a certain amount. It doesn't have the big issue of CS:GO investing, where you just hit the maximum and that's it, right?
Yeah.
I did use multiple accounts so I could post more trades on trade websites, but That's that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I built a fortune in TF2 hats basically, but at some point, I didn't really want to trade anymore because trading is a very time intensive hobby, you could say.
And money works harder than you ever can.
Yeah, I would wake up, I would post my trades, I would eat, I would trade, and trade for the rest of the entire day, right?
Yeah. How old were you at this point?
14 or 15.
14, 15 years old, and you'd spend most of your day just trading for money.
Trading, yeah. Doing homework and trading. It was a good life. Wish I had that amount of time still, but yeah. So this should be in 2012 or 2013 or something. I started trading, and I got my 2K backpack somewhere in 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
And at this point, I decided that investing would be a wiser choice than just continuing to trade all day. Like, it's nice to get 1K a month, but there are ways to make your money go faster.
Yeah.
At this time, Valve introduced sales on certain items. Like, you could buy store items for a discount.
Mm-hmm.
In Dota, for example, there's a thing called a treasure. And a treasure is basically what a crate or a case is in CSGO. Like, you open it, you have a chance for a really rare item, and you have a chance for a bunch of trash items.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about those treasures is that first, they don't require a key, so they're the case and the key combined.
Ooh.
And Valve sometimes ran a sale on them, so essentially you could buy a key for a quarter of the normal price.
Ooh.
So I decided to liquidate my entire TF2 inventory, buy 2K worth of treasures at 75% off, and then just resell them a month later for the full price.
Whoa. Yeah, so you'd 4x your money in a month?
Yeah, it was very easy money. Sadly, they never really reran that sale, and it was the best sale they had.
I bet they very quickly learnt that they were making a lot of money for people.
Valve sometimes still runs sales on TF2 items, on paints, for example. But the problem with sale on paints is that paints have such a low demand that it takes a long time to sell them.
Yeah.
So I could still do that right now, but I don't think it's lucrative for someone with as much money as me.
Yeah. You need stuff that like sells.
I need something bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, at that point I had 8K worth of items in my inventory.
Yeah.
I sold those all, and I had a lot of wallet at my disposal at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. CSGO really wasn't the big game that it would become later on. Everyone really didn't believe in CSGO.
Yeah, after Source and
yeah,
1.6.
people still played 1.6, right?
Yeah,
and they still played that for a really long time. So my first wave of investments was actually a TF2 item, and that item was called the Creepy Unlock Case.
Yeah.
Basically, it's you can compare it sort of to a tournament capsule in that it's a one-time limited offer that they sell, and then it'll never appear in the store again.
Okay.
So I bought a bunch of those. I bought 100 of those. I still have those.
Really?
They are such low liquidity that it's incredibly hard to sell them. I sell maybe 1 or 2 a month, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first investment, and that one paid off well. So I decided to do. I went to look for something more. I went to look for something that had more liquidity and that more people would want.
Yeah.
And that's what brings us to CSGO.
Wow. Before we dive into CSGO, I do have a question from Bertvader Jakob. He's saying, isn't botting strongly controversial in RuneScape? And were there any people
absolutely.
that did something to ruin your spree?
Absolutely. I was a cheeky boy, right? I'm not under the impression that I was a fair player or that I earned my money in a fair way. But it was a way of earning money, and people did try to ruin my bot farm.
I'm sure they did.
A couple of my accounts got banned. That's not a secret.
Yeah. All right, now to CS. You've made all this money in TF2. CSGO's hitting the scene.
CS:GO, yeah. So the first tournament, I don't know if it was actually the first tournament, but the first tournament that had a sticker capsule attached to it.
Katowice
Katowice
2014.
2014, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was a tournament before that, and that one also had souvenirs. I'm not sure about that actually, but it didn't have a sticker capsule.
I think there was one, but I think I can't remember much from that
A long
time.
time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so Katowice 2014. It was the first real tournament in CS:GO, you could say. And at this time, CS:GO was also picking up steam. But those sticker capsules, like everyone thought really nothing about it, right? Like they're a fun novelty, but nobody really expected they would take off. And that's why today you still see the Katowice 2014 capsules at like 10K each, right?
Yeah.
They were such an
ridiculous.
obscure investment.
Yeah, just super unrealized potential in there. People
Yeah.
didn't get it. People didn't understand. But also because it's so new, why would you just throw a bunch of money at it?
Yeah, right. You have to believe that they will become worth something at some point, which many people still didn't. Many people still didn't believe in CS:GO in general.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I was aware of CS:GO at that time, but I didn't invest yet because, as with other people, I also thought it's just going to be a dud, right? It's not going to be a real investment. And I very quickly changed my tune when 1 week after they like shot up.
What did they shoot to after the first week?
My memory is pretty woozy, so I'm not entirely too sure to what they shot up to, but they were sold for 30 cents each. And after a week or after a month, they were multiple dollars each.
Oh, wow.
So even that is a great profit. You'd never get that profit in real life
No.
on the stock market or something similar.
Absolutely
And,
not.
That got me that got my eyes glued to it, and I was just hoping that Valve would do another tournament capsule.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, Katowice 2015. Well, they did DreamHack 2014. They did.
So first came Cologne 2014, then came DreamHack 2014,
Yeah.
and then the also equally infamous Katowice 2015. So I invested in all of them.
What made 2015 equally as infamous?
Honestly, a lot of people still weren't really on board with the whole tournament capsule idea. Of course, this is only talking about my experience with my friends.
Yeah.
But a lot of people they felt like Valve would introduce at some point Katowice 2014 like stickers again, right? They would return the clean stickers
Yeah.
at some point. There was still this belief that Katowice 2014 wouldn't be a one-off.
Yeah.
And that made a lot of people withhold their money. They just really didn't feel like it was a worthy investment.
Yeah. But you did?
But I did.
And
I invested all my money, 2 or 3K into Cologne 2014, and again 1K into DreamHack, and then something like 2K in Katowice 2015.
wow.
And then 1K into every major after that, except for like 2017 to 2020.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
The problem is that, right, so in 2017, Valve introduced like a lot of things that people really weren't on board with.
Yeah.
Like they killed Bling for a large part. Well, killed in air quotes because it's just back as usual business right now. And they also introduced the week-long trading ban.
Yep.
And for a long time, that really killed the hype in the CS:GO scene until like 1 or 2 years ago when it started picking up again.
Yeah.
And during that time, I didn't invest. So that was also a lot of missed potential, I think. I could have invested, and actually after 2016, the capsules became a lot better than the ones before them.
So, with $1,000, what did you actually manage to get with $1,000 when Cato 2015 investment happened?
I as any good investor will tell you, you need to diversify. So I got a really diverse set of items. I
Yeah.
got some capsules, I got some holos, I got some foils, which were dead, but hey. I got some paper stickers, I got some souvenirs. I really just got about everything you could get in terms of investments.
Yeah. Nice.
The best one I still have is Fox Aminor Polo from Katowice 2015.
You've still got those.
I still have those.
Nice. Oh, those have
And
been going
those
up
are
lately.
pretty penny.
Yeah, those have been increasing quite a lot lately.
Yeah. Yeah, especially as of late, they just shot up to the moon for some reason.
What are you at? 500k investor roll now?
Well, actually, you see, in the time that I was in air quotes gone from the server, my inventory went down quite a bit.
Yeah, we had quite
Last
a
year,
long
June.
cold period.
Oh yeah. So after the spike of last year, everything just crashed down to the ground. But still more than before. But I didn't have my 300k investment roll was a lie for a really long time.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's only until like last week that that my role became truth again.
So you were an imposter for a little while there, not actually.
Just for a little bit.
Oh man, I wish I could get more Cato 15 even now. Cato 15 hollows would be, mwah.
Yeah.
Would love some more at some point, but I'm too poor at this stage. Ooh.
Feels bad.
Yeah,
having money is an issue.
Yeah, something it's apparent to me, and I would like to point it out to everyone that's listening and watching, is that what really matters is having and using time. Time is your biggest asset. It doesn't matter how well you try and time it. Time in the market is going to beat timing the market every single time.
Like I'd say I'm pretty much the epitome of that, right? I really didn't trade. I really didn't reinvest. I just bought and kept them forever.
Yeah, you've bought and hold, and it's just created a wealth for you that people don't quite get. You did all this hard work and trading in the early stages when you didn't have very much, but you've basically been investing since you were like 10 years old.
Something like that.
Yeah, you've been doing investing for 14, 15 years, and look where it's gotten you money-wise. That's something respectable, and something that others should definitely learn from, is that it takes time. You're not going to get $300,000 overnight. You're not going to get ridiculous amounts of money overnight. You have to work at it, and it's going to take a while. You're going to have some L's along the way, like getting your RuneScape accounts banned, or
like gambling away all my crypto.
or gambling away your crypto, your Bitcoin that was like $1,000 each that you bought for 10.
My treasure's all gone, man.
I know, poor Ducky. I'd say I'd feel sorry for you, but that was your own fault for gambling.
Yeah, I know. Don't gamble, kids. Please don't do it.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good for you. Speaking of gambling, this week you've chosen the case for myself to open on the podcast. Unfortunately, we still don't have screen share on the Discord live. But I'm just gonna. You can check my inventory. I'm just opening a single CS20 case chosen by Ducky. Stat track factory new or wildfire incoming. Yes.
Surely, or a knife.
Surely. Ready? So we're gonna open this in 3, 2, 1, now, and rolling. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Oh, nothing. Tech 9 flash out in factory new, but
Shane, this is why you don't gamble.
Yeah, this is why you don't gamble. Proof that you don't gamble, everyone. Tuning into this podcast each week, watching the case unboxing, and just knowing that it's all negative. It's negative EV.
Right, just let him suffer. Don't suffer yourself.
Yeah, let me suffer every week for all of you. You get your gambling fix once a week when I open the weekly case.
A single case.
Yeah, one single case. Every single week, just that one little drip of your addiction solved. Now, something else we like to do on this podcast is look at capsule EV. Unfortunately, CS20 EV is pretty trash. So
such a shame.
It is an absolute shame. But if you look at the Google Sheet, let me post the link to it, everyone, in the podcast chat. It has all of the capsule EV for all different kinds of capsules. We don't look at the autograph capsules because they change way too fast, way too frequently. We're looking at teams. We're looking at all your larger main non-autograph style capsules. So like your challengers, your legends for all your different majors. And if you look this week, the capsule of the week is Atlanta 2017 Legends Hollow Foil. It's different from last week. We have a negative EV again. Last week we had positive EV at 101%. Today we've got a measly 89% as the highest EV capsule in Atlanta 2017 Legends. So they're at $73 each per capsule. What were they sold? Do you remember what those were sold in store for, or were you not involved in Atlanta?
I wish I was involved, honestly, but it was about the same time that Valve introduced a lot of things I didn't agree with, so I was gone during that time, sadly.
Well, unfortunately, we can't all pick winners. Sorry, I've just muted hostile in chat.
Yeah, deserved.
Yeah, absolutely deserved. Calling me dumb. So yeah, everyone, positive well, it's not quite positive EV, but capsule of the week, the closest to positive EV is Atlanta 2017 Legends Hollow Foil. Now, back to CS. More about your wonderful self, Ducky. Aside from Cato 15, is there anything lately that you've looked at and seen that you kind of go, ooh, that's got potential for later?
I'd actually say like Cologne 2014. It's seen as a really bad capsule, right? It's ugly. It really doesn't have anything to it.
It's almost as bad as Cluj-Nakopa.
Excuse me?
The 2015 Cluj-Nakopa capsule.
Oh, right. Yeah, it was a really. I think a lot of people just found it ugly. They were really round. There was the logos are pretty small, and the holo effects aren't particularly good except for like Dignitas.
Yeah.
But if you look at EV and if you look at how much percentage you profited compared to before, they have risen almost just as hard as Kato 15s.
Yeah.
Because they were also sold for 10 times cheaper than Kato 15. If you keep that in mind, they're more or less the same price if you adjust for how much money you put in.
Yep, I had one 2014 Cologne Legends capsule. I bought one for $50. I sold it for $70, and they're now for $105 on Steam. So
feels good.
Profit is profit, but damn. Oof. Looking at the graph, one got sold for 6 cents on the 21st of May this year.
Yeah, so some guy is really unhappy with that.
Some person is very, very upset. Yeah. Whoa. Something something I want to point out here that we've noticed where people consider these cases trash for some time doesn't make them a bad investment. Like,
Right. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say enough time in the market again, boys and girls. Uh, if you give something enough time, it's still going to eventually go up when there's no more supply. Like, it may just take a while, but it will still eventually go up. There's no point in selling for a loss, or if it's dipped and you sell for break even. There's no point if it's on an upward trend and you've just sold to break even. What's the point of you even having it in the first place?
Right. People are driven by emotion, by FOMO and by panic.
Oh,
And
man.
honestly, if you want to be a successful investor, those are just the first two emotions you have to banish from your brain.
Yeah. Emotion just kills investments.
As soon as people see that line going down, they just panic. And as soon as they see the line going up, they think they have to invest more. But you really don't have to do that, right? You can wait until the market is more calm, when there isn't as much talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many so many effects that just destroy people's worth, and then they get out of investing because they're like, no, this I lost money. This is stupid, and decide to leave investing, and then they look back and go, oh, I would have made a lot of money. Screw this. I'm not investing again. And they just leave because they didn't make immediate stacks.
Right. Outsourced posted an abstract of a paper a couple days ago, I think, which said that people that actively trade their goods are bound to lose money, but they lose more money than is just explained by economic effects alone.
Yeah.
That is very interesting because it means that not only do people invest badly, when they panic, they tend to go with what the herd says is good, I think. And that's extremely dangerous because then you both panic and FOMO at the same time.
Yeah.
It just compounds.
It does. Compounding is a very big thing. It can compound positively.
Compounding loss.
Yeah, you can compound your loss. The people that make the best returns are dead people because all their investments never get sold and they just go up.
Yeah, exactly.
There was also a paper. There was a paper as well that showed that women also tend to earn more money than men with their investments because men are way too emotional and will panic sell and panic buy, whereas women are just like, they'll buy it, they'll forget about it, and it just goes up more than all this active trading.
Yeah.
So, like, invest in things that you can just set and forget, like ETFs, like capsules. Storage containers have helped so much with investing, in my opinion, because you can just set and forget.
Not just that, but taking things out of the containers takes ages. So at some point you might just get bored and just alt F4 the game.
Yeah. And then you've held longer, and look, it gets even more, even more money. Yeah. Like, there's so many cool things that just come with time and appreciation.
Yeah. It must be said that, of course, this doesn't apply to all things. You can't just invest wildly into different penny stocks or random graffitis and expect them to go to the moon. You do have to pick a good item that has some amount of demand and that you are sure of that will have some future demand.
Revolver case.
But at the same time, you just pick something that isn't so high in demand that everyone is talking about it. That is the secret, I think.
And just buy it and hold it. You don't have to go ahead and just sell it straight away as soon as there's a profit. Something lately that I've bought and I'm holding is the latest collections. They've already gone up. I also bought shattered web cases. People were absolutely shitting on them. When the market crashed, I was getting shattered web cases at like 70 cents Australian or something like that. I was getting them real cheap.
Yeah, during gifts like that, it's generally just a good time to step in if you truly believe that item has a future.
Yeah, I didn't have the money that you had, but I bought like 70 or so Shattered Web cases. I was like, these things are not going to be like less than $1 forever, $1 Australian. Um, and they're what? Let's actually check. Price check now. Shattered Web case is currently trading at $2.09 Australian. So like, I've doubled my money there.
Yeah, um, it's just capitalizing on people's fears that such a case just isn't wanted at all by the community, but it is. It simply is.
Yeah, people, I don't want to open this. Oh yes, tell that to the Orb Conchainment Breach, the
Yeah,
AK Rat
exactly.
Rod. That's a purple AK that has great detail and is a really cool looking skin. Like Famous commemorate. Oh no, that doesn't have the Famous. No, it has the Mac 10 Stalker, which is definitely not a bad skin. Even the pinks are nice, but all of the pinks are really good, especially with the Tech 9 being so good to play with.
Yeah,
Um,
and even though the rare pool, the unique pool, I think it
yeah,
was knives, shared with another case.
Fracture case,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but even that really doesn't matter that much, given that there's still skins in there that people want, and that the case will never ever come back, most likely. There's the Valve
Yeah,
factor in that you never really know what Valve is gonna do, but I'd say it's really unlikely that they're gonna bring it back.
yeah. It's also like not even in the rare pool. It's in the discontinued pool. Like there's not been a single rare drop of Shattered Web that I think anyone has ever seen. Um, and there's what 25,000 on the market, whereas like the Fracture case is going to increase. There's going to be heaps more, but Broken Fang has 400,000 on the market at the moment. Like that's a ridiculous amount of cases, especially compared to Shattered Web. I would still
Yeah.
say that I would still argue that Shattered Web is underpriced.
Um, I am not entirely sure about that. The thing about um, items in CS:GO is that they reach equilibrium, or in layman's term, a fair price is reached extremely quickly. As soon as items disappear from the store or the operation or the sale, they tend to go to a fair price almost within a day or two,
Yeah,
I'd say. And they really stay at that price for a really long time until a big shakeup happens. Or just enough time has passed that the supply is dwindling to such a degree that the price just goes up.
like Bravo cases and
Yeah, for example. The most interesting thing about the CS:GO economy, I think, is that no matter what item you look at, when a hype happens, pretty much all items go up.
yeah,
Or for the prime change in CS:GO, for example, when that changed, not just the cases that already non-prime went up, but prime cases also went up, which is really strange.
yeah. Like I've 100%. I took all my danger zone cases that I'd 4x'd my money on, and just I've immediately sold them all. Because the price shouldn't be this high.
Yeah.
Like it just shouldn't have been. Oh.
And you see the same pattern in a lot of different items. When one tournament sticker capsule goes up, pretty much all of them go up. It's very rare for just one sticker capsule to go up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how ugly or how pretty your capsule is. They all pretty much go up by the same percentage too. So if you look at tournament capsules from 2014 and 15 and 16, for example, they all more or less have a 300% increase when the 2019 hype happened, or the 2020 hype.
Yeah. This this latest update though has really shaken up the economy real
It really
hard.
has. I think we'll see the consequences of it for a really long time.
Yeah. It's gonna like it's just gonna affect everything for years. Or like just normal drops that you'd get in game to blues that you'd get in game. Like 3 cent cases are probably just not going to be a thing anymore. In all honesty.
Also, just the fact that as a free-to-play player, you can't play ranked anymore, which will affect how fast the player base will grow. Because
Yeah.
the growth of CS:GO is mostly hinges on poorer countries. It really isn't growing much in America, for example. So you're depending on free-to-play players to grow the market. But if they can't play ranked on a free-to-play account, the growth will be slowed down substantially.
Yeah. I think we're going to see this. We've seen this massive big pump in both high end and in cases. It's going to come back. It's going to retrace. It can't not. You can't sustain this level for any length of time. This amount of price increase. It's ridiculous. But we're going to see a permanent change in CS:GO economy from this.
Yeah, absolutely. But if I ever want advice, please don't FOMO into prime cases. All right?
Oh
Please
yeah,
don't do it.
absolutely, dude. Just don't FOMO into anything, really. Like
That's some pretty good advice.
just FOMOing leads to bad decision making, which makes you lose money. Like
You can always wait. There's plenty of time. Most of you are pretty young.
yeah, you've
it
got
really doesn't
60
hurt
years.
to wait a month or two.
Yeah, you have another like 60, 70 years to live. You're gonna be all right waiting a month.
And that's one important thing to remember during investing too, is that you don't have to buy right now, right? A lot of people come to me and they ask, Ducky, what should I invest in? And a lot of time I just go, right now isn't a good time.
I
But
I have a
go on.
saying. I've actually got a slightly different saying. People have been tagging me in that because I've been using that saying lately. Yesterday was the best time to buy. Today is the next best time to buy. Tomorrow is the worst time to buy. Because, like, who knows what the price is going to do tomorrow. It could skyrocket. You wouldn't make your investment. Yesterday, you'd be able to buy with hindsight.
Right.
Or you'd already know what went to the moon. So, like, you may as well buy it today. If you're going to sit on the money for a good amount of time, just buy now. Like, this massive hype you can wait a month for. This is like one of those black swan events. This is an event. This is an event that really, really, really is going to change the market forever, and something that we won't see very often, ever again. So wait for it to cool down a little bit, and then buy. Just if you've got spare money that you don't want to touch for like 5 years, just buy something.
Yeah, and it really doesn't hurt. Many people think that like $100 or maybe even $1,000 is a lot of money, right? But once you become an adult and you get a job, that $100 to $1,000 is really just you can save that in a month if you have, even if you are working minimum wage. It's possible in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And it's like it's fine to lose $100 or $1,000. Not every day you'll be given an opportunity to invest.
Yeah, like for my own investments, I take money straight out of my paycheck every single fortnight and go, this is going towards investments. And I split that between ETFs, Magic the Gathering, and CS. And so, like, one fortnight I go, cool, I'm going to whack an extra $250, $300, $500 into ETFs. And I go, cool, let's now go to Magic the Gathering. I'll buy a couple of boxes on another fortnight, and then go to the next fortnight. Go, I will spend a bit more in CS. Like I'll just rotate through. Like it's not a huge portion of my paycheck, in all honesty. Like but it's a section that I go, I will pay every single paycheck. I will invest towards the future. So it doesn't matter how much you earn. I see a comment about someone saying that they've only got an average of $200 a month. So you find out what you can actually live on by set a certain amount of your paycheck for investing, and invest it, save it, have an emergency fund, put money away, and go from there. It takes time, but once you've been at it for like 5 years, it doesn't you see the amount of money that you earn yourself, and you go, oh shit, I've actually got a lot of money now.
Yeah, and a lot of people. I lost my thought. Hold on.
That's all right. So something that people also forget to do is taking profits with their investments. So not just you've got my main investments being ETFs. Then you've got your speculative investments, things like CS, things like Bitcoin, things like Magic the Gathering. That it's all speculative investing, where you don't put in more than you're willing to lose. By investing, but from $15, that's more than fine. Yeah, what were you saying, Ducky?
So what I wanted to say is that that $100 or that $1,000, even though losing it wouldn't be a big deal, if you invest it correctly, it will turn into a big deal.
Yeah.
So if you're just early enough ahead of the curve, and that is the most important thing about turning your little money into a lot of money, is that you do have to be ahead of the curve. If you aren't, then you'll always be stuck with doubling or tripling your money, which is nice, but if you have only $100 to start with, that isn't much, right?
Yeah. Turning $100 into $200 is hard work. Turning $1 million into $2 million is inevitable.
Right. There's just a lot of doors that open for you once you have a lot of money. But when you have a little money and you want to turn that into a lot, it's hard. That's the only way I can put it.
Yeah.
You have to know of these rare opportunities that only crop up once in a while. And that is the contradiction, I guess, because you have to know of opportunities that are incredibly rare, that nobody's talking about, and somehow you have come to know that.
Yeah, dumb ones like Dogecoin. It's that's what I was mentioning before. I was mentioning about speculative investments. There are absolutely dumbass ways that people have made money, especially in 2021.
Yeah.
Things like Dogecoin, things like just any crypto. There's so many hundreds of shit coins that have made people money. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's incredible how Musk can essentially just post one tweet and the crypto market just goes to the moon.
Yeah, or it goes crashing down.
Yeah. He has that power over the market.
Yeah. That man shouldn't hold that much power. He's basically a man who's got power over an unregulated market.
Yeah, he and his friends can make a lot of money within that market if he so wants.
Yeah. So, Hostile brings up an interesting point. If you got rich quick and became one of those rich millionaires, you don't necessarily make 2 million out of 1 million, and you'll end up broke. That is true. That is very true. But most investing is boring and takes a lot of time. So when you're taking that time to make that $2 million, you learn that you learn along the way that it's going to take a lot of time. If it's not going to be something easy. But
right.
Yeah.
I think the main problem with that is that people that get money quickly get some kind of power complex. They think that they know everything. They know.
Oh yeah, they got lucky.
Find the next big thing. but essentially, yeah, they just got lucky, right? But they think they're a whole lot more than they are, and that state of thinking that they all know what the future holds is just dangerous for your money.
Yeah.
They'll YOLO all their money into some obscure crypto or whatever, and then it goes crashing down the next day.
Yeah. Like if you fall into money and are rich, that's entirely different to being wealthy. Like wealth and being wealthy and being rich are two entirely different things. Like you've invested for so long and you've got such a foundational understanding of money that you are wealthy. You are developing wealth. You aren't becoming rich.
Right.
Like they're two fundamentally different things.
And it helps that my investments aren't only CS:GO related. They have been CS:GO related for a really long time, but I also have some real life investments, and that also helps with like the perspective that it gives you. In that, real life investments are rarely get rich quick schemes. They rarely make you a millionaire overnight.
Yeah, it takes years.
It takes years and years and decades, and sometimes you'll only ever find the money when you're retired.
Yeah. Yeah, my country, so in Australia, we have a thing called superannuation, where your employer pays 9.5% towards a retirement account, which gets invested in with a company of your choosing who manages it, and like it's just automatic. Every paycheck, it's mandated. You have to have it. So it's like prepping you for retirement. The country's made all of its citizens, basically, all of its workers just go and work towards retirement, which is fantastic because it means we don't have to take money out of our normal paychecks. But if you do, you get even more money. It's great. Australian housing is absolutely ruined. I agree, Duck. Australian housing is just ridiculous. That's why I've moved out to the country. I don't live in one of the big cities anymore. If anyone's played CS with me, they would know I have 250 ping whenever I'm playing on bloody EU servers or anything like that, or on even in Australia servers, I have 100 ping. I live in the middle of nowhere. it's cheap. I've reduced my cost of living.
Like, the housing price all around the world is kind of going crazy right now. I think the uncertainty of the world economies are just bringing people to alternative investments like real estate instead of the stock market.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
I think CS:GO is also a part of that alternative investment in some cases.
I think so, but I think we can probably leave that discussion on alternative investments for another time. We've actually been talking for an hour already. Time's already absolutely flown by, Ducky.
Our time is up.
Our time is up for this week. I absolutely would be more than happy to have you back on. We can talk more about different investments. Talk together. Get Stino in as well. Get someone else in. We may even start doing some more Q&As with other members. Yes, I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube on my YouTube channel. It is linked to my Discord profile, and Sneppen has kindly posted a link to the podcast itself on YouTube. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, come and join the CSGO Market Forum Discord and watch live. We have a schedule on in the Discord where you can come and listen live. I'll also ping you if you would like to come and listen. If you're listening this live, come check me out on YouTube. Say hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and recommend something that I'm looking for is any recommendations for improvements. I'm trying to make small improvements week to week so that, like investing, take lots of small steps and eventually you walk miles. So hoping to make this something better and better and better. Thank you all to everyone for coming. Thank you, Ducky, for coming and just talking, sharing your story, and just talking investing with me. It's always
No
great.
problem. Happy to.
Yeah, it's always great to discuss investments and money and help educate other people on the importance of money investing and time. Remember, everyone, time in the market beats timing the market. That's
Let me let me close this with one last piece of advice.
yeah,
Um, you must know opportunities before you can take the opportunities, and you must be ahead of the curve to become successful in investing. So try to learn a lot about the world. Get involved with people and communities you've never known of weird things that you never thought you'd ever get involved in. Just listen and read and learn. That is my advice.
beautiful. Thank you, Ducky. That is very true. Learning, learning, learning. You will eventually get there. Keep working at it, everyone. You will eventually get there. Well, thank you so much for being here, everyone. I'll see you next week. I do not know who is going to be on next week. I have someone maybe in the works. Cannot confirm anything at this stage, but otherwise it might just be me and Stino talking investing next week. We'll see what happens. Well, thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you all.